Hello everyone, this is Viren and welcome to the fantasy match preview for the India vs Ireland first T20. I know you all have been waiting for this game. Remember to join us on the Fantasy Cricket Pro Telegram channel for the final teams for this game, and this preview is powered by Nostra Pro. So this is my team combination for this one: 1 keeper, 3 batsmen, 4 all-rounders and 3 bowlers, and also I'll mention some interesting GL rotations for you, so let's get to the game. So first up, the keepers and the batters, and I think the keeping choice is pretty straightforward in Sanju Samson, as we are expecting him to bat in the top 4. But yes, I think Dinesh Karthik has been in amazing form, but I don't know how many wickets Ireland would get of India, so how much opportunity he'll get will be a question mark for me. But if we know he's batting in the top order, then obviously his form is much better. Also, if you feel like there's some bounce in that pitch or some grass in that pitch up front, then maybe you can take a chance on the Indian top order and then slot in guys like Karthik. Then you look at the batters. I think Kishan and Surya Kumar Yadav pretty straightforward. Surya should enjoy the pace and bounce that the island tracks will have to offer. And Kishan, I'm not too sure how he'll cope with it. For now, I'm leaving Gaikwad out also for the same reason, and as his form has also not backed him. So I think that will be a tricky call for you to make based on the pitch. And the last pick would be Paul Sterling, who's obviously been in great form from the last season. And apart from that, he knows the conditions better than anyone else in this 11. And now we look at the all-rounders and the bowlers for this one. So first all-rounder Hardik Pandya looked in really good batting form, and I'm expecting him to be used a little more with the ball in these conditions, and hence he's my vice-captain for this game. 2 Irish all-rounders, Curtis Camphor and Andy McBride, both of them very important for their team. Curtis Camphor can hit the ball big, bowls with some good pace, while Andy McBride bowls some handy off-spin, and apart from that does bat in an anchor sort of role. And the last pick is Akshar Patel, who might give a tough time to the Irish batters, especially in that middle order. They are not as adept with playing spin, but if we see that it's a total flat track or a very small ground and ground dimensions, then maybe you can switch him out. Then you look at the 3 bowlers for the game. I think the first pick, Mark Adair, he's again an all-rounder, big hitter, and apart from that, bowls in the dead too. And then the 2 Indian bowlers, Yuzvendra Chahal, who I'm going to bank on to be my captain for this game. But like I mentioned, if we see that it's not conducive for spin at all, then we'll have to make changes based on the toss and the pitch, as I'm shooting this a few days before the game, so it would be difficult to make that assumption. But we know that Irish batters struggle against spin, so it should be a good choice. And the last pick would be Harshal Patel, who's been in very good form with the ball and gets you a lot of wickets at the death. So this is my dream team for today. Ensure that you join us on Fantasy Cricket Pro so that I can give you all the pitch conditions, toss news, playing 11 and everything else there. And use the Fantasy Preview code when you download the Nostra Pro app, because you get 100% cash back on your first deposit. Go make your team now. And now let's get to the pick section for the India vs Ireland T20, where you answer a set of questions, a lot of simple questions, and yet you get to win a lot of prizes. So simply put, for each correct answer you get 20 points, and for each negative or wrong answer you get 8 minus points. But there's something to boost you up there. That's what we call as the boosters. So with the boosters, each correct point is going to get you double the points there is, yes. And each booster that you use to save yourself, so we have a negative booster as well, where in case you answer it incorrectly, you won't get minus points for that specific question. So supremely interesting concept. And now let's get to my picks for the game. Which bowler will concede more runs between Craig Young and Yuzvendra Chahal? So I'm backing Chahal a lot, like you must have seen, so I'm going to go with Young. Which bowler will pick more wickets between Barry McCarthy and Bhuvneshwar Kumar? So I think Barry McCarthy does bowl at important times, but so does Bhuvi, and based on the opposition, I'll go with Bhuvi for now. Which bowler will have the higher bowling economy rate between Mark Adair and Harshal Patel? Slightly tricky this question, but I think I'm going to go with Mark Adair, as he might have to bowl against a very strong batting lineup and Dinesh Karthik at the death. How many runs will Surya Kumar Yadav hit from boundaries? That is 4s and 6s, less than 15, 25 or more. I think 15 to 24 is the answer that convinces me, as we know that he rotates the strike quite a bit. Which batsman will hit more sixes between Harry Tector and Hardik Pandya? I think Hardik Pandya is the right one, as Harry Tector would have to face quite a bit of Chahal. Who will have the better batting strike rate between Locke and Tucker and Ishan Kishan? So I'm going to go with Kishan. How many aggregate boundaries will be hit in this match? Less than 35, 40 or more. So like we know, the grounds in Ireland might be slightly smaller, so 40 or more. How many aggregate wickets will be lost in this match? Less than 13, 15 or more. Slightly tricky. If Ireland bat first, I would go with 15 or more. If India bat first, then maybe less than 13, but for now I'll go with 15 or more. Who will hit more fours between Andy Balbirnie and Ruturaj Gaikwad? I think Ruturaj Gaikwad is in pole position, and so is Andy Balbirnie, as he's going to face pace more up as he might open the batting. So Andy Balbirnie because of form. How many aggregate batsmen will hit a 4 in this match? Less than 10, 12 or more. I think less than 10. How many aggregate runs will be scored in this match? Less than 300, 330 or more. Surely 330 or more, as like I mentioned, if grounds are smaller, higher scores. And finally, who will win between Ireland and India? I think that's a little more straightforward because of form, because of stature. I think it's going to be India quite clearly. Then you look at the boosters, where either you select a 2x if you're super confident about a question, or a no negative if you're not so confident and want to play a slightly neutral role there. So surely the 2x on who will win, that is India for me. And apart from that, how many runs will be scored from boundaries is always a tricky question, as it's more of a very deep estimate for you to give. So I'm going to go with the no negative there. Ensure that you make all these picks on the Nostra Pro app. Use the code Fantasy Preview to get 100% cash back on your first deposit on the Nostra Pro app, and join us on the Fantasy Cricket Pro Telegram channel for all the final picks, streams and all the updates for the series. All the good luck to you.